This is more of an outlaw character or neutral civ. This is a criminal, but she hasn't been doing a lot of criminal stuff lately, so she's kind of a weird neutral right now, but she's still a criminal. A deputy literally just said of her last week was, okay, no night voice. That she, I don't think Holly Frost is a criminal anymore. No, I've gotten away with a few bank robberies. Yeah, McGregor said that this happened. Holly Frost? I don't think Holly Frost is much of a criminal anymore. Oh. Anyways, okay. Holly Frost. Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm trying to give you a download of Holly Frost's story. Holly Frost started out with Jack Kettleman. They robbed a bank together. They were running together, but Jack was crazy. He constantly put her in danger. He would take out debts and then gamble them away immediately. Got the attention of Gavin Summers on her. Like, if they didn't pay back this debt, he would come after her. Freaking out. Jack always did stuff, you know, someone tried to rob Holly, so he walked into town and just, like, tried to shoot them in the face right there. You know, Holly wanted to not get caught. Jack didn't care what he did. He would do it right in front of everyone. And so Holly tried to get away from him. And it didn't work. Holly was trying to pay off some debts to finally get herself away from Jack. And she went to Van Horn to sell MASH. When she left, she didn't find anyone to sell the MASH to. So when she left, deputies went through. And Isabella saw that and said, "Look, Summers, that Holly was just in town and she snitched. The law came through immediately afterwards." Summers responded by trying to send Holly telegrams because he kept getting 0 mixed up with O, and I didn't get any telegrams. And by the end of the night, he was very angry, and he finally sent one successfully. And it was just a big mash of, you know, I guess you don't care about your reputation, you know, we can do this the hard way, blah, blah, blah. Holly freaks out, has no idea what's going on. Jack contacts her, goes, "What have you done?" When she didn't want to see him anymore at this point. Predatory, thank you so much for the bits. So she meets with Jack, and she basically finds out what's happened, that for some reason she's being thought of as being a snitch. She never snitched ever about anything, by the way. Holly did not. So if you hear Jack pounding the drum, Holly's an informant and stuff, she just never did. She never did. She agrees to go meet with Summers to clear her name because she doesn't want that hanging over her head. And Jack, my power was out the next day, so I couldn't make the meeting. Jack went into Van Horn and stabbed Summers' number 2 man in the stomach in Holly's name. Just walked up to him while he had his hands behind his back and stabbed him in the stomach. So by the time that Holly actually went to meet with Summers, he had an ultimatum for her. And that was, you killed Jack Kettleman, I'll give you $5,000. And all this goes away. Yeah. And Holly was terrified out of her mind. She was trying to get away from Jack. Jack was constantly screwing her over, constantly putting her in lethal danger. And she did not want to. I mean, she fought them on that. There's a whole highlight of just crying and begging. And basically it was, no, we will kill you unless you kill Jack Kettleman. But here's $5,000 on top. You know, it'll change your life, Holly. And then I'll protect you. Of course, Jack didn't die. Holly went in Van Horn to be with Summers' gang because she was then wanted by the law for trying to kill Jack Kettleman because they found out immediately. And so she spent a lot of time. Yeah, well, she actually only got 4K because she didn't actually kill him. This horse was bought with that money. Yeah. So, and since then, since she killed Jack, or tried to kill Jack, she has never, ever really spoken with him. She has tried to telegram him. The people that she's with have tried to set up meetings. Many people have tried to set up meetings and stuff, but no, Jack will not talk to her. The only way he will accept talking to her is basically if she's brought to him in ropes. But she's not just gonna do that, you know? And now, Holly has fallen in with a new group of people, and that is Taipan Industries, which is actually a sect of the Hong, a 1,000-year-old Chinese business family kind of mob organization full of secrecy and stuff. She's actually an indicted member of the Hong. Like, she's gone through rituals to join them and stuff. Like, she's gone and been in China for a few months and stuff like that. Like, she is one of the Hong. Yeah, it's a cult. It's a cult. She is one of the Hong. It's like a Chinese mafia cult. It's totally like a cult, okay? So she is loyal to the Hong, to Taipan. And honestly, she has just wanted nothing more than to put everything behind her regarding Jack, but Jack will not let go. And so the reason why Taipan people, which not with too much association with Holly, they've decided to do this because Holly is their sister, she's their family, have twice attacked, kidnapped Jack because he refuses to drop his beef with Holly. He just refuses. So they've decided they're just going to beat him down until something changes, which, you know, I don't know how successful that's going to be. But in the meantime, when the Summers gang finally fell, it was that last day. It was OB's funeral. Everyone went to his funeral. That was a guy who had been in Van Horn and was actually sweet on Holly. They went to his funeral. Deputies showed up to the funeral, and Summers ran off with everybody. That guy scared me. Summers ran off, and they ended up getting in a gunfight. And Holly was trying to figure out what do I do next. You know, I've been arrested. I've been let out of Siska. I'm free right now, other than Jack. And I was riding around hunting to start trying to pay off my $1,600 debt from riding with the Summers gang and trying to kill Jack. And came across Gavin Summers laying on the tracks, incapacitated. He had been in a gunfight. He'd slipped. He'd fallen. So Holly decided, you know what, I owe him. Picked him up, put him on a horse, ran him off to a cabin, and started getting him medical attention. Like, went into town, got a doctor, was ready to kidnap the doctor to make her give him medical attention. We're in there, he's getting medical attention, and as we're doing that, deputies show up outside. And they arrest him. While in the cells, Gavin Summers cries to Holly. He breaks down in tears. And he says, Holly, I've got to tell you what I just did. I just met with Jack Kettleman, and I agreed to hand you over to him to stop the war. And then he realized what a monster he was. And he got sent to Siska for 7 IRL months. But we're pretty sure that in his time in solitary, his twisted mind has decided that even though Holly was very loyal to him, yeah, that's just because Johnny decided to rest the character for that long. He wouldn't have actually been forced to be put away that long. But anyways, he's been away for 7 IRL months. I'm pretty sure that he has decided that Holly has somehow betrayed him or something like that. Holly has wanted to kill him. You know, he betrayed everyone. Summers revealed that he was betraying everyone. He was playing everybody. Like, he wanted to kill Isabella. He decided that Isabella was a snitch or something like that. He was using Julius. He was basically betraying everybody who was there. Oh, wow. Okay, Ian. So, and of course, everyone in Van Horn, like, one of the whole reasons they were fighting Jack was that he wouldn't drop Holly. But Summers did something which you consider pretty odd. I mean, he got Holly to betray Jack. And then he never let Holly fight in any of the battles concerning Jack. She never rode out against him. Not once. Not a single time. Instead, she was kept back in Van Horn like a trophy on a shelf. It was like, here's what I can do against my enemies. Anytime she talked about leaving or trying to do something on her own, Summers would go, you know, you'll die out there, and then all this is nothing, and really guilt her and freak her out and stuff. Like, it was a very strange, abusive relationship in that way. And it wasn't, okay, when I say relationship, I just mean, you know, how talks go between two people. I don't mean that they were in a relationship, because they were not. That is a misconception. It's a very strange misconception. Just like Holly was never in a relationship with Jack. Not ever, not slightly, not at all. Yes, Summers was incredibly manipulative. These are primarily new people who are loyal to him, but not all of them. Blondie is one of the members of the original Summers gang. The others, one is a brother of one of the original members, so it's the same guy, has a new character who's the brother. And then another guy is a friend of his who also had a character. That barn has some hilarious memories. Jack is a nut job. I've seen the clips. I can vouch. Yeah. Holly should have shot him before Summers forced her to do it. That's the conclusion Holly has come to after all this time. Something that Jack could probably cut your gang out of the war if he would just talk to you. Yeah, no, he refuses. He refuses. He refuses to do anything but, no, I'm always coming after Holly, no matter what. And he wants to get all his current gang involved too, which is Holly never had anything to do ever with Mills, Kaniklo, Alice, all those people. She never had anything to do with any of them, ever. What happened between her and Jack was between her and Jack, and at most Peter Gray and Rabbit, because Peter Gray and Rabbit were the only other two people. Yeah, unless she's brought to him in ropes, he is not going to talk to her. And even then, he's probably not going to do a lot of talking. It's probably just going to be a lot of torture and then trying to kill her or cut some pieces off or something. It's funny how people have hurt him before, but Holly's the one he can't forget. It's because he's never got any sort of retribution. He hasn't got his blood. Sive, I'm patiently waiting for her. She's the one that got away. Well, I think he thought that Holly liked him in a romantic sense for some reason. For some reason he thought that. Nobody knows why. Only Jack knows why. And so when she betrayed him, that was just, you know, how could you be so horrible? You were the woman I loved and now you're shooting me. But he's also convinced himself of things that didn't happen after after the fact. After the fact. So stubborn, he has many people against him. Well, I mean, he went around intentionally making enemies of everybody, essentially. He had a lot of choices that he made that very deliberately, that, I mean, it wasn't like, you know, he was in a tight spot. He very deliberately made big choices that caused people to be very upset with him. And now he's reaping those consequences of his actions. It is the accumulation of months and months of stuff. Like, it's constant calling her a known informant. Holly's never mentioned Jack ever to lie. Yeah, she's never, not once, ever